Angry guy here. And a single mother tells women to only settle for high value men and then gets put in her place. A single mother tells women to only settle for high value men and then gets put in her place. Let's go ahead and jump into the video.
Hey guys, how's it going? So I thought I'd get on for a second and just share my journey about dating in my 40s. It is a wild world out there. I'm 43, gonna be 44. I've been in some pretty rough relationships that I thought were great and then have just gone down bad. I've been fooled, where I thought I was dating good men, and then couple years in, I realized they were not who I thought they were. And probably not even a couple years in, I realized they weren't who they thought I realized that they were, you know what I mean. I probably stood in the relationships longer than I should have, is what I'm saying. So now here we are, 43 years old. I have 3 kids, adult kids, pretty much. My youngest is 15. My oldest is going to be 25. I just got out of a 2-year relationship, and
What? She's 43. Her youngest is 15. Her oldest is 25. Yeah, guys. And she would be targeting, and I'm going to be 40 in the fall. So we're like right in that age bracket. And we're both Zennials. And she would be trying to date someone around my age. You have a 25-year-old son, miss. 25-year-old son. That's a bro to me. I'm just saying, that's a bro to me. What am I supposed to do with this man? Okay? You already have your kids. You've lived your life, and you're out here trying to start something new. You can't have any more kids. All right? It's highly unlikely. And what you would want me to be like a daddy for them? What is this? What is this? Like, guys, this is insane. And they're out here complaining. She's 43. She has 3 kids, I think she said. Her oldest is 25. Youngest is 15. That's a big kid. And she's out here looking for a man. And she has super high standards. She wants a high value man.
I've been single for about 3 months. I'm still getting over that relationship. It was pretty bad heartbreak for me. Decided to go on Hinge. It's absolutely terrible. There's not many men on there that I want to give the time of day.
She's on Hinge. I mean, guys, you have to remember, at her age, a lot of dudes are going to be trying to just smash and dash, and she doesn't realize that. Now, well, and the thing is, and just a warning to you young dudes, y'all will see this and think, oh, this is it's easy because she's desperate. That's going to be the hardest hookup you ever had, because you have this woman who doesn't have anything else to offer, and she's going to treat that like her golden ticket. So she's going to make you wait ages for anything. This is a woman who's already had her kids, already lived her life, and she's going to make you wait ages for anything, because that's her only tool. That's her only chip. That's the only chip she has to use to barter with. And she's going to put herself on a pedestal and say, you're going to treat her like a lady. Okay? And how great, and all her friends are going to tell her how great she is, and the man needs to respect her because she is the prize. Lady, you've had your kids. You're not having any more kids. You want a high value man that makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or millions of dollars a year. And what do you have to offer? Why wouldn't he go and get someone younger? Oh, because that's a little girl. And those little girls, they don't have proper life experience, so they don't know how to deal with issues. And you're saying, well, really? Because the one who seems to be acting like a little girl is you. You know? That's really what's up. Oh man.
Yo, what is going on, guys? I hope you are all doing well. So on today's episode, guys, we are going to be responding to this video from a single mother of, I think she said 3 children. She's like, over the age of 40. And she is out here looking for a man, guys, but of course she doesn't want to give an average man her attention. No, guys, she is far too, important for that. She is above that, but don't worry, guys, she is still out here looking for her Prince Charming, going strong. But guys, before we jump into today's episode and we respond to this woman, don't forget to come and join us for free over on Locals, guys. Locals is basically like Patreon, but it's free. You can find it in the video description, guys. Make sure you join us over there in case we are ever banned from YouTube, because as you guys all know, YouTube doesn't really like sort of content where you disagree with women for any particular reason. So without further ado, guys, let's jump in. Let's take a listen to what this woman has to tell us. And guys, don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
Hey guys, how's it going? So I thought I'd get on for a second and just share like my journey about dating in my 40s.
Yeah, because what better thing would a grown adult have to do with their time? Guys, one of the craziest things to me about just current day society, okay, I'm not even I wouldn't classify myself as an old dude, right? But society for me, guys, I feel like is moving just way too fast. Okay, you have all of these people who think that they need to share their personal life all over the internet. I remember like a few years ago, guys, I swear people had a bit more common sense. Maybe I just was a bit naive, but everyone nowadays, guys, just wants to get on the internet, share their dating life, share their family, bloodline, everything. And it's just absolute craziness to me. Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe I'm getting grumpy. Let's keep going.
It is a wild world out there. I'm 43, gonna be 44. I've been in some pretty rough relationships that I thought were great and then have just gone down bad.
Guys, at a certain point, you have to stop feeling sorry for girls like this, and I'll tell you why. Okay, I empathize, guys, with people who, they have 1 or 2 bad relationships. Maybe you were genuinely tricked, okay, or you didn't have a father figure, for example, perhaps pointing you in the right direction. People make mistakes, sure. But if you want to tell me that you are about to be 44 years of age, you essentially have no successful relationships with men at all, and we want to sit here and we want to blame it on the men? Absolutely not.
You know what's interesting, guys? So she had Chad, she had Brad. All right, we don't even know. We don't even know if these are Tyrone's, Ray Ray's, or Pookie's kids. All right, she's been in a series of relationships, guys. I told you they'll be out in the streets for 20, 30 years, and then they're looking for a good man. She's in her 40s now, and she's still playing the same games. Like, this is how she's still playing the same games. It's amazing that she's able to find someone at that age that's willing to date her. Or you consider the amount of baggage that she brings along with her. She has a 25-year-old kid, a 15-year-old, and I believe there's another one. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And she still cannot find a good relationship. And she's had so many options. She's had her children. She's lived her life, and she's still out there. And she's still playing this game. And it's absolutely ridiculous. And guys, if you're enjoying this content, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, never miss another video again, and like the video because it tells YouTube you're enjoying the content and YouTube will show you more of it.
Okay, absolutely not, guys. Again, I empathize with the women who, like, they have a husband or something like that and she becomes a widow, sure. Or maybe she goes through like 1 to 2 bad relationships and she gets cheated on, can't recognize red flags. Perhaps she hasn't got a father figure in her life. Okay, sure. But if you want to tell me you get to 44 years of age and you are still single and you're trying to blame this on men, oh, absolutely not. It's not happening.
I've been fooled, where I thought I was dating good men, and then couple years in, I realized they were not who I thought they were.
So we're pulling the victimhood card at 44 years of age. You guys.
She didn't know any better. It was the guys. It's always the fault of the men. She has 3 children. Her oldest is 25 years old. And it's the fault of men that she has not been able to find a good man that can hold her down. And she has had nothing to do with, nothing to do with any of this in the relationship. She's just a victim. Yeah, and in 6 years she will be 50. Guys, remember what I told you when I said that, come 2030, 50, 45%, so almost 50% of all women between the ages of 25 and 44 will be single. She'll be in 2030. In 2030, this woman will be about 51. She'll be about 51 in 2030. All right, she's a 1979er. If this video was shot this year, she was born in 1979, and she will be 51 years old. And there's going to be a lot of women like her. And what excuse are they going to be using? And guys, you have to understand, like, these modern women there's never been a point in time in history where women have worked their lives all the way into have worked their entire lives and worked until they were elderly, worked into their 60s and 70s. That's never happened before. That's always been men. Women did not enter the workforce in droves until the 1970s, and then it was only in the 90s when things really started to even take off even further, and then women were basically on equal footing with men, began to become on equal footing with men in the workforce. But it's crazy because there's never been a time in history, in the last 1,000 years, where women have spent, have worked their entire lives, right? And the thing is, women tend to retire earlier than men. They tend to retire like around the age of, I believe, 57, 58, because they value having that extra time. They want to go and enjoy their lives. They don't want to work well into their 60s, forget about 70s. And these modern women, they seem to think that they're going to have the government to back them up. Guys, let me explain this right now. What's happened here in the West cannot happen in many other countries. I'll tell you the reason why. Because they don't offer that safety net. They don't offer public assistance. And a lot of countries unless these countries start offering things like public assistance and these programs, it's not going to be there. And here's the thing. Even with these programs in place, there's not enough public assistance for everyone. Public assistance is limited, all right? We're talking food stamps is only like $200 a month. 200 something a month. It's not a lot. It's barely enough to survive on, all right? And cash benefits, it depends on where you live, but that's not enough to survive on, all right? It's not enough to survive on. These women would not be able to survive. They would not be able to survive on any of this, all right? The government would literally have to create a program where it spends $100 million to subsidize the living the living expenses of women to provide them with shelter, food, and everything else, so that they can live adequately. When you consider the way modern women live and their desire for luxury, even if the government were to subsidize their living, they would be living mostly in poverty. They would be living mostly in poverty, to be very honest, because there would be income limits. So, for example, the only way you're going to be able to go and to collect this is if you're not working. If you make a certain income. So, because it's all income based, so you're not going to be able to say make more than $15,000 a year. All right, if that, and these women, they have expensive taste. They have very expensive taste, so they're not going to be able to live that public assistance life, even if the government were to make a massive expansion of the program. All right, because they want to live in luxury, and they're not going to want to live in public housing. Come on, and there's not enough public housing to even go around, guys. Y'all don't seem to understand. It's a disillusion. All right now we're living in a disillusion, believing that women have all these options, that women can survive and thrive, and that the government is going to come and rescue them when times get tough. All right, and things are just not what they seem. They're just not what they seem. You need to understand that women are going to face massive hardships. And their plan B is the plan where plan B, plan C, plan D guys. Those guys are their safety net. That's why they're furious about the password bros. That's why a lot of these women now, they realize, being rude, disrespectful, hyper aggressive, and masculine, that's not attracting men. So now they're trying to use, femininity and use fake femininity to try to catch men, right? So they can live soft girl lives. But to make it very clear to you, they're not looking for guys making $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. They refer to those guys as broke boys. They're looking for men making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year or millions of dollars a year, so that they can have fun, so they can spend frivolous amounts of money, so that they can buy an expensive car, so they can buy expensive things, so they never have to cook, they never have to clean, they don't even have to raise their own kids. And they're telling, and when they say, men are going overseas because they don't want to level up, go and find hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars to give you this life. At no time in history has anything like this ever happened. We live in the wealthiest country in the entire world. Americans, a guy making $30,000 is rich in the rest of the world. They consider that rich. You are rich in the rest of the world. That is a ton of money in the rest of the world. It's crazy, guys. It's absolutely crazy. People don't get it. People don't get it. They think that these women are going to get bailed out, and it's not happening. All right? It's a disillusion. It's a complete and utter disillusion, because men believe, society has brought us to a point where we believe that women will always be bailed out. All right? And everything has its limits. Women have taken it as far as they can really take it at this point. I don't see the government coming with hundreds of millions of dollars or trillions of dollars to bail them out of all their bad decisions. If you look at some of these women's faces, you can see like you can see mental health issues. Like they don't look well. A lot of these women, like when you look at them, the way they behave, the irrational behavior, the hollering, the screeching, the demands like a child, like that's not how a functional adult behaves. And you can clearly see that they're experiencing mental health issues. Absolutely. Guys, single mothers tell women to only settle for high value men, but they're getting put in their place.
Know what this is really similar to? It's kind of like people who don't, for example, don't exercise at all, and then they're trying to play the victim that they're like overweight. Like, it's like, okay, if you're overweight and you understand it's your fault, cool. But then you have people who are like, oh, you know, it's my genetics and crap like this, and you see them just stuffing their face full of crap, never touching the gym once in their life. It's kind of like these videos right here. You know, it's like, oh, I'm a victim, things are so difficult for me, I don't understand anything, and then you look at their track record, and it's all nothing but quote-unquote narcissistic men who mistreat them. And at a certain point, you have to say, wait a minute, maybe you're in this situation because of yourself.
And probably not even a couple years in, I realized they weren't who they thought I realized that they were, you know what I mean. I probably stood in the relationships longer than I should have, is what I'm saying.
Probably shouldn't have started the relationships at all. Guys, a lot of the times when you see these videos, these women actually think that they have relationships with men, but you would be surprised how many times you see videos like this and the girl literally does not have a relationship. She never secured commitment, or it took her 6 months to do it, okay, after she was having bedroom fun with a whole bunch of random dudes, and then they wonder why their relationships don't work out, why the men weren't particularly interested in them, you know, because they don't. Guys, she will go on in a second here to say how she doesn't basically give average men a second chance, even though she has 3 kids to Lord knows which particular man, but she thinks as though she's above them. Okay, and then she wonders why all her relationships are terrible, and oh, she can't seem to get anything right, guys, because a lot of these men these women are chasing are not interested in having anything long-term with a single mother.
So now here we are, 43 years old. I have 3 kids, adult kids, pretty much. My youngest is 15. My oldest is going to be 25.
Let's dissect that for a second. They're not adults. Youngest is 15. Oldest is about to be 25. We all know a lot of kids, for example, are really dependent well into their 20s these days, okay? So you have 3 children, madam. And one of them is 50. Like, these girls try and play it off as like, oh yeah, you know, they're not too much of a hassle. I can have a serious relationship. I'm not bringing too much baggage. You literally have 3 children, madam. 3. And we're trying to brush it off like, oh, don't worry, they're not too much effort. It's like,
So she wants another guy, some guy to come in and subsidize her living and make up for her bad decisions. Yeah, not gonna happen, guys. If you want to watch the full video, it'll be linked in the description. But these single mothers are telling women that to only settle for high value men, and you know, men are putting them in their place and letting them know, yeah, miss, I'm not about that life. I'm not going to subsidize your living, and I'm just going to walk away. And again, guys, if you're enjoying this content, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, never miss another video ever again, and like the video so that YouTube knows you like it and they'll show you more of my videos. Let me know what you think about this, what we've discussed here, how these single mothers are, how these women are, the fact that they have extremely high standards even as their options are dwindling down. Let me know what you think in the comments. Like the video if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you like the video, share the video. And just remember that all roads lead to MWA and walking away. And cheers.